I'm Lacie Lowry. Right now at 6 o'clock, the Spencer community comes together to honor a teenager shot and killed near his high school. His mother is now pleading with other teens. Her message coming up.
And it's the coldest morning of the season so far, but meteorologist Megan Gold says it is looking nicer for Halloween. She'll time it all out in the forecast coming up. Plus this.
It's failed us, failed our family, it's failed everybody.
Well, the son of slain Oklahoma County Deputy Bobby Swartz says Oklahoma's mental health system is to blame for derailing justice in his father's murder. I'm Robin Marsh. Why the suspect is not facing charges.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
6 a.m. on a Thursday morning as we say good morning, Oklahoma. Whew, you will notice it is definitely a day of changes out there.
Bundled up this morning.
It's certainly bundled up. I was worried about my trash cans yesterday, thinking like,
blowing down the road.
Gosh.
Kansas now.
Fortunately, it's not that way today. We're glad to see it. Let's talk to Megan Gold. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. The wind makes a big difference, Megan.
It makes a huge difference. And if we had the wind that we had yesterday, we would have feels like temperatures or wind chill values in the teens and the 20s. And we do have some 20s out there, but it is nowhere near the wind that we were talking yesterday. Our winds are almost non-existent this morning. This is the view from our Lucky Star Skycam network. Of course, it is still dark out there awaiting our sunrise, and we have freeze warnings in effect from Oklahoma City back to the west. Our first freeze of the season for many spots. Everybody else, a frost advisory. So frost on the pumpkins, and it will be a very cold morning as we go through the next several hours. El Reno, you're below freezing. To Hinton, Weatherford 35, Apache to Rush Springs 31, 28 in Hobart, up and down I-35, hovering just above freezing, and at Will Rogers we are still 2 degrees above freezing. What you're seeing here, the pink line, that's what's called the freezing line. So back behind it, freezing temperatures, 20s from Freedom over to Camargo, 32 in Woodward, and there are your wind speeds, so much lighter than this time yesterday. So as you plan your day here by 10 o'clock, we're in the mid-40s. Lunchtime, we're climbing into the mid to upper 50s. Sunshine today and high temperatures, a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday. Your Halloween looks amazing, even warmer than today. Trick-or-treating in the 50s. We'll talk more about your 9-day forecast when our next cold front hits. Make the weekend chilly. Details coming up.
Funeral plans are announced for fallen El Reno Police Sergeant Thomas Duran. Earlier this month, Sergeant Duran was hit by a driver while he was helping a pedestrian in the road. He died from his injuries last week and donated his organs. Sergeant Duran's funeral is Monday, November 3rd at Together We Church in Yukon. It starts at 10:30 in the morning.
A heartbroken family joins its community to hold a vigil for a Spencer teen who was shot and killed last week outside Spencer High School. Family and friends of 17-year-old Sebastian Guyton are remembering him as a competitive athlete. He trained at the Sims Boxing Academy, and his mother, Denisha, wants children to know that gym can be a place for them to develop into adults.
Children, this is a safe haven. Don't go looking for nothing in the streets. You're talented. The Lord made you special.
A teenager has been arrested for Guyton's murder, but right now most of the details in this case are sealed because that suspect is a juvenile.
Oklahoma City police identify a man accused of shooting at a door-to-door salesman on the south side of the metro. The man was shot while standing outside the front door. It happened Tuesday night. The man wasn't hit by the gunfire, but this happened about 6 p.m. near Southwest 134th and Western. Officers say the suspect, Hunter Monroe, then barricaded himself inside the home. He eventually surrendered. He was booked on an assault complaint. Again, no one was hurt in the shooting. A former Oklahoma City police officer convicted of child abuse will spend the next 4 years behind bars. A judge sentenced Christopher Gillenbeck yesterday. A jury found him guilty last month. Investigators say it was 2023. The man choked his son in a parking lot. Gillenbeck was fired from the police department last week.
Your time now, 6:04. A quick check of traffic this morning. Here's a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network across Oklahoma City. You're looking at I-40, I-44, I-35. Everything looking good right now. So traffic having no issues this morning. We'll check again in the next 10 minutes. Republican Chip Keating starts his campaign for Oklahoma governor by meeting with supporters in Tulsa. Chip is the son of former Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating, who was in office from 1995 to 2002. Chip Keating is also an oil and gas attorney, a real estate businessman, and a former OHP trooper. He says our state is at a crossroads politically and says he has a fresh perspective as someone who is not a career politician.
I was sick of no one else stepping up and fixing these issues, and I really known about who's going to be in this race, and they've been up there, frankly, and been able to do something about it, and they haven't done something about it.
Primary elections are June 16th. The general election is November 3rd of 2026.
Keating is the 7th Republican to file for the 2026 race. Other Republican candidates include Attorney General Gentner Drummond, former House Speaker Charles McCall, and former state senators Jake Merrick and Mike Mazzei. Kenneth Sturgill and Lisa Mitchell-Haynes have also announced campaigns as Republican candidates. State Representative Cindy Munson has also filed to run as a Democrat.
6:06, and we're watching the weather here. Halloween is tomorrow. Those kiddos getting really excited about a Friday Halloween.
And some good weather for
Nice.
the trick-or-treating portion of your day.
Yeah, you won't have to bundle up like we've had to do some years or sweat like you do some years.
It seems like it's always one thing or the other. This one might be perfect, Megan.
I think we can call it perfect. Light winds, we'll have a few clouds around, temperatures in the mid-50s. It'll feel just kind of like fall and perfect. We have had some years where we are in the 30s, so not that cold. Now this morning, we're in the 30s. It's cold. There are spots in the 20s. There's the Broadway extension. If you are headed southbound into Oklahoma City, looks great right now, hovering just above freezing here in OKC. And our winds, they are light this morning, so much lighter than yesterday. They stay light all day long today. A few clouds with a high temperature of 62 degrees. We'll talk more about your trick-or-treat forecast and your 9-day. It's coming up.
Also ahead, the federal government shutdown will stop food assistance for 700,000 Oklahomans this Saturday, November 1st. Coming up, what state lawmakers at the Capitol are pushing for, why Governor Stitt says the state may not be able to intervene too much. It's coming up on 9.
And it's not just SNAP food benefits that are ending. Oklahoma's Head Start programs also bracing for closure. The push to keep the doors open. The story coming up.
Time for the bus stop forecast, and as you're sending the kids out the door, make sure you got them bundled up. Will they wear those coats? Probably not.
They'll be dragging them coming home.
Yeah.
I had to break out.
Will they make it home with them? That's
Probably
the big
not.
question.
Just like I never brought my lunchbox home as a kid. It's very difficult. I did have to kind of go digging for my sweater this morning. It's been a while since we had to kind of bundle up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I even felt so unprepared. Like you have to, I mean, we were dressing for like that kind of weird, is it summer, is it fall? And now it's like, find the fall. Yeah, exactly. Find the kiddos, their coats, and really make sure you got them handy here our next several mornings. And really, as we move forward through the season, our mornings will just be very chilly to cold, and for the little ones that can be tough. So make sure they're bundled up, maybe layers by the afternoon recess. Will be cool, but it won't be cold by any means. So this morning, temperatures in many spots across the metro are below freezing, and we'll warm it up quickly with sunshine and a southwest wind. Here's the view from our Lucky Star Skycam network. Our OCCC camera pointed off to the east. 36 degrees right now. We kind of keep going from 34 to 36 based on our winds. And if you were with us yesterday, and actually if you just stepped outside yesterday, the winds were unbelievable. Flat out windy, trash cans down the street, Halloween decorations everywhere, with winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Nothing like that. That wind maker is far off to the east now, and today is a light wind day. Now what you're seeing here with the pink line, that's what's called the freezing line, and that goes around spots that are below freezing, like Apache down to Fort Cobb, Rush Springs, and Chickasha. It's 36 in Minco, Cordell, you're 35, Sealing 29, Stillwater 36. So really areas east of I-35, it's a frost, it's not a freeze, but for areas west of Oklahoma City, it is your first freeze of the season. We have spots that like El Reno, they're sitting at 29 right now, Camargo to Freedom in the 20s, 33 in Woodward, and then up into the Panhandle, there are some upper 20s as well. This is the big difference. If we had much stronger winds this morning, the wind chills would be dangerous, but they're not. Winds are calm. calm to very, very light. Our wind chill values are still in the 20s and the 30s, so definitely still need the coats out the door this morning. Your hour-by-hour forecast here. By lunchtime, we're in the mid-50s, warming into the low 60s. So a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday. Yesterday, we had a strong north wind. We're going to switch to a southwest wind this afternoon. Now, there is a front that moves into the north and to the west. It does not fully push through the state. We get that front Friday into Saturday, and your Saturday is significantly cooler. So let me show you the big picture here. Here comes front number one. The bulk of the cold air stays off to our north and to our east, but that brings us a shove of some cooler air for your Saturday. Could even have a few showers around. Keeping an eye on that. And then that's going to move off to the east. We're going to rebound Monday to Tuesday. High pressures down to our south, so we're going to warm it back into the 70s. It's warmer, but it's still pleasant. And then we'll get a weak front that comes through Wednesday with a stronger front sometime towards the end of next week and into the following weekend. And that could provide some storm opportunity. Some data says it stays farther off to our east. Some data says eastern Oklahoma, but we will watch that closely. Tonight, not quite as cold as this morning. We're going to be back into the 30s, light winds, clear skies. And then tomorrow, of course, it's Halloween. Temperatures, they're going to climb back into the low to mid 60s. We'll have mostly sunny skies, high thin clouds overhead. Really amazing trick or treat forecast. Temperatures from the 60s will be falling into the 50s. As soon as the sun sets, it will get chilly. Now for your Saturday, as that front pushes through, we're back to the 50s. There will be spots across northern Oklahoma in the low 50s with a north wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And again, a slight chance for a few showers. We'll fine tune this as we get a little bit closer. Some data has been hit or miss with it, but I think a 20 to even a 30% chance down in southern Oklahoma. Otherwise, your 9-day is a very dry 9-day. I know we started the week with rounds of rain and storms. That is gone, and now we've got a whole lot of sunshine, a few fronts coming in here and there, but otherwise really a true fall feeling. So today, 62 degrees. Of course, the frosty morning for many of us with a freeze on the west sides of the metro up into northwestern Oklahoma. Tomorrow, it's Halloween. I'm calling it the kickoff to the holiday season. A south wind that is light with 50s for trick-or-treating. There comes the front. Your Saturday is cooler, about 10 degrees cooler. And then Sunday, we're going to rebound with sunshine, the end of daylight saving. And then we're back in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with another front as we go into Friday, watching for a few storms with that front. Guys, back to you.
Megan, thank you. The family of an Oklahoma County deputy gunned down while serving eviction papers says Oklahoma's mental health system is to blame for derailing justice. With the murder case against the accused killer thrown out earlier this month, the family tells our Lisa Monahan laws need to change, and now. Lisa?
Well, Colby, the ambush killing of Sergeant Bobby Swartz left his family heartbroken in 2022, but what's happened since has shattered their faith in this system. At best, they say it raises serious questions about how Oklahoma handles accused killers found incompetent to stand trial. At worst, they fear it sets a dangerous precedent for future murder cases.
County L units 1033.
In every eviction, danger is a distant thought until it's encountered up close.
County, shots fired, shots fired.
On August 22nd, 2022,
County's clear, shots fired.
no warning, no time to take cover.
Stop medical!
3 deputies under fire.
Shots are continuing to be fired.
Within minutes, one was down.
We need some help.
Another fighting to survive.
Horse and John's about to be shot.
And the third tracking the gunman's next move.
Behind the boat.
Hey, the suspect grabbed a bag with multiple weapons. There's a shot fired. He's shooting out of his window.
Cornered outside the Tinker Air Force Base, the suspect, Benjamin Plank, arrested for the murder of Sergeant Bobby Swartz.
Stop! Put your hands behind your back.
But as that chase ended, another began. A pursuit that took 3 years and ended, the Swartz family says, without justice. 3 years of hearings and heartache for son Austin Swartz and his wife Kim.
If you could just run around, hurting people, burning things to the ground, and there's no accountability, society crumbles.
A belief instilled by his father, who spent a lifetime defending justice.
There has to be law, there has to be order.
Sergeant Swartz gave his life attempting to uphold both, but his son says the same system his father so proudly served has let him down.
He would be disappointed, appalled, furious.
Prosecutors say Benjamin Plank planned the ambush, reinforcing doors, stockpiling rifles, and Molotov cocktails.
He had a plan to kill any law enforcement officer that walked up to that door that day.
Plank confessed, but his confession never reached a jury because doctors said he wasn't competent to face one.
It was planned, premeditated. He knew what he was doing.
By law, a defendant must understand the charges against them and be able to help their attorney mount a defense.
Murder in the first degree.
Plank's public defender argued he couldn't do either. Diagnosed with delusional disorder, Plank was sent to the state's secure mental hospital, the Oklahoma Forensic Center, in April 2023. The goal? Restore his competency so he could stand trial for murder.
Our goal ultimately is to work towards that person being able to deal with the charges that brought them here in the first place.
But in Plank's case, records show the state not only failed to meet that goal, but was derelict in its efforts. A year after Plank was admitted, Judge Catherine Savage issued a cell order under a U.S. Supreme Court ruling requiring doctors to medicate Plank by force if he refused treatment. Within a month, records showed improvement. But then the case began to unravel.
We're responsible for protecting the public peace and safety.
Inside the forensic center, the Swartz family says Plank wasn't treated like an accused killer, but instead treated like a patient with privileges.
You have a bad day, you get to go play Xbox. You get to go watch TV.
All while they say he's behaved like a criminal, caught with marijuana, and accused of serving as a lookout in another attack.
It's almost like the Wild West. You can assault somebody, you get moved to another wing, you get marijuana, you get God only knows what else.
Moved from unit to unit, Austin says the Oklahoma Forensic Center failed to follow the court order.
In no world is that okay. I mean, criminals are given more rights than victims.
Now, court records show that by February of 2025, Plank outright refused medication, and the state's doctors, by their own admission, did nothing. Coming up at 6:45, the fallout from those decisions and why the Swartz family wants the court to take more action.
Good investigation, Lisa. We'll look forward to that report coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, we do have some breaking news, a traffic alert for you. Our Lex Stanfield, our news tracker, is driving northbound on I-35 right now, trying to make it to Edmond, where we hear there's been a rollover wreck reported in Edmond right near 15th Street. That's kind of over by the Walmart Supercenter, all that kind of activity in that area. This is possibly the northbound lanes. Our Brianna Brown is there. We'll be seeing if it's impacting the drive, if it's off on the access road or not. So just hang with us. We'll be there in just a few minutes. We've also been checking across the other portions of the metro on the morning drive. Everything is looking A-OK so far. But again, this situation in Edmond, right off I-35 and 15th, we'll be there in just a moment.
This Saturday, be sure to head to the National Weather Center in Norman for the big annual Weather Festival. David, Lacey, Megan, our entire weather team, and our storm tracker will all be there. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They'd love to talk to you. We're back after this. You're watching News 9.
As 2025 turns to 2026, at New Year's Eve here in Oklahoma City, we will again come together to celebrate as a community.
Heck yeah, ringing in the new year in the heart of downtown Oklahoma City again. The city bringing back the New Year's Eve celebration. So before midnight, everyone is invited to Scissortail Park to celebrate. There will be live music, a drone light show, and it is all free to the public. They quit it a couple of years ago.
They quit it in 2022 after 4 decades, and people were upset about it.
They
so
were.
I love that this is back because, guys, there's a lot to celebrate in the city right now.
It's been a good year.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a great week so far, too. And tomorrow, maybe, do we say perfect Halloween forecast? It's looking like it, Megan.
I think it might be pretty perfect. Temperatures in the mid-50s for our trick-or-treaters. Looks amazing. Hey, I've mentioned this several times. This morning, our sunrise is almost at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our sunset tonight at 6:36. And by Sunday, by the time daylight saving ends, both of those become an hour earlier. So if you're an early riser, good thing. But the sunset at 5:33. Crazy, right? Here's a live look from our are. Downtown camera, clear skies. It is a cold start, a frosty and even a freezing start for many west of Oklahoma City. Your outdoor forecast here. We'll have a few clouds today. Winds are so much lighter than yesterday. I know it says they're strong here. They are not. They're going to be about 5 to 15 miles per hour. We're going to warm it to 62 degrees this afternoon. We'll talk more about our next cold front, your trick-or-treat forecast, the weekend, your 9-day. It's just minutes away, guys. Back to you.
Megan, thank you. We do have some breaking news. We want to take you out to our news tracker, Lex Stanfield, and Brianna Brown just got to the scene of this reported rollover crash in Edmond. This is on the northbound side of I-35, right there at 15th Street. And again, we're seeing this in real time just as you are. They are just pulling up to this scene. So we're going to be talking with them and figuring out what exactly is going on here as we get a closer look here. He's going to zoom in.
It looks like it's the northbound 15th ramp onto I-35. So you can see it over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, this fire truck's out there, certainly an active law enforcement presence as well. So we're going to talk with them as they're getting details, and we'll bring you the latest right after this.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
I want to take you live right now to Edmond. You're looking live at a rollover crash along I-35. This is the northbound on-ramp at 15th Street. What you're seeing right here off to the right, that vehicle is on its roof. It has completely flipped over. OHP is at the scene. This is in the grass along I-35. So we're trying to get more information about whether anyone was injured. But again, traveling northbound on I-35 at 15th Street, that's close to the on-ramp. So they're trying to figure that out. Also injuries and how it happened. But in the meantime, you will see some flashing lights there in Edmond, I-35 at 15th Street.
Well, you just got to be so careful out there on the roads nowadays, you know?
Yes.
I mean, Halloween's tomorrow. All those kids are going to be out on the streets as well. So just a heads up everywhere.
Yeah, drive safely, especially if there's a lot of those busier neighborhoods. Let's talk to Megan Gold. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center now. As we get a little closer to Halloween, Megan, it's the coldest day of the season so far.
It is. It is the coldest day since back in April. A frost and a freeze for a good portion of Oklahoma. In the pink, the frost, and then you get to the west of Oklahoma City, and that's where we have the freezing temperature. So those advisories and the warnings do go until 8 o'clock this morning. Bundle up if you're headed out the door. You'll notice our winds are nowhere near what they were yesterday. They are calm to very light, and that will help us out, at least the way it feels on a very cold morning like this. Here's the Broadway extension. If you are headed into downtown right now, no traffic impacts for you there. The skies are clear, and with those light winds, that allows your temperatures to really tumble during the overnight hours. We've now come up a couple of degrees. 36, 34 is our lowest temperature so far this morning in OKC. But you go to the west, and that's where we find our freezing temperatures from Chickasha to El Reno, Hinton, over to Weatherford. Ceiling is 29, Cordell 34, and Enid 33. So the pink line, that's the freezing line. Back behind it, there are 20s up in the north and west. And look at our winds, anywhere from calm to just a few miles per hour. Our feels like temperatures are in the 20s. So again, it's a cold start, maybe layers, because by the time we get to the afternoon, we're in the low 60s. Still above normal for this time of year. Winds stay light all day long today with a few clouds. We'll talk about your trick-or-treat forecast the weekend. We've got a cold front headed our way. That'll cool us off for the weekend. Your 9-day. Minutes away, guys. Back to you.
Megan, thanks so much. Back out to that breaking news in Edmond, right off I-35 and really the East 15th exit. There you see Highway Patrol there on the scene. Our Brianna Brown just got there to this reported rollover crash. Brianna, tell us what's going on out there right off I-35.
Yes, OHP is here on scene as it looks like this is a pickup truck that has rolled over now. Another trooper just arrived on scene. They were outside looking at the vehicle. It doesn't look like anyone is inside. I think those who were inside have already been taken out. Edmond Police was also on scene, but they have since cleared. So right now it's just OHP here on scene. Now this is right off the southeast 15th Street exit right here on I-35. Now, like I said, we haven't seen anyone come out of the truck. It doesn't look like they're attempting to pull anyone out of the truck, so hopefully everyone has been removed safely. But we are just waiting here to get more information on any injuries and just any updates here on this crash. Live in Edmond, Brianna Brown, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Yeah, again, right off I-35 and hearing from just some scanner traffic that there were a couple of people in the truck and that they are out, but we're still trying to get all the details from there at the scene.
More fallout from the government shutdown. The Oklahoma Department of Human Services will start furloughing employees Sunday, November 2nd. DHS says employees who make between $50,000 and $100,000 will stay home and not get paid twice per pay period. Those who make at least $100,000 or more will stay home and not get paid 3 times per pay period. Oklahoma DHS calls this a very difficult decision and says the department, quote, exists to provide critical services to our most vulnerable neighbors. The spokesperson says 75% of DHS funding comes from federal sources, and the shutdown has impacted its ability to fulfill the mission without taking action.
Nearly 700,000 Oklahomans who rely on SNAP will lose their benefits this weekend unless Congress ends the ongoing shutdown. Because that program is federally funded, state leaders say there's not much that they can do. Yesterday, state Democrats urged the governor to call a special session and allocate funds for food resources. But Governor Stitt says even that wouldn't keep Oklahomans fed long term.
If we use state funds, whether that be from our rainy day fund or from other sources, the federal government has said they're not going to reimburse us. We're working with our legislature to understand all the options that we have as a state if this continues for any period of time.
As Oklahoma lawmakers consider their options, Governor Stitt is urging Oklahomans to help each other. Many churches and nonprofits are working to fill that gap and urge others to step in for their neighbors. So Governor Stitt is encouraging people to also visit Be a Neighbor website that's to find food resources. That site also offers ways for people to make a difference for their fellow Oklahomans. One faith leader says everyone's small contribution can bridge a big gap when it comes to resources.
If 5,000 churches will focus on 50 boxes of emergency response, and they do that twice a month, just do the math on that. That's almost 500,000 people that are served in our communities.
And tribal members can apply for assistance through tribal governments. They're working to shift people from SNAP to that program. Now, people can't be on both programs, but it is an option for tribal members to consider.
And really more insult to injury from the government shutdown. Head Start programs in Oklahoma are bracing for closure because the money stops November 1st, this Saturday. And if the shutdown continues, more early childhood education services, we've learned, will be at further risk. One local nonprofit says low-income families right here in Oklahoma City using Head Start won't immediately feel the impact because there are other programs filling the gap, but there are thousands of children in the state who will soon be without services.
Many of our families work. You know, they work 1, 2, some 3 jobs, and not being able to have something stable like us to provide those services for their children, that keeps them from going to work.
If the shutdown continues into December, May says that there will be an additional 7 programs within the Head Start program that will be in danger of stopping services.
Oklahomans who want open primaries are working right now to collect enough signatures to get the issue on the ballot for a vote of the people. Right now, only registered Republicans can vote in Republican primaries, and the same with Democrats, although Democrats also allow independents. State Question 836 would allow voters to decide on any candidate regardless of their registered political party.
This isn't about elected officials. It's about Oklahoma voters having a voice and having a fair system.
Those against this initiative argue that it's unconstitutional. Supporters have 90 days to collect nearly 173,000 signatures.
One of the issues that a lot of people talk about is that, say, 2 Republican candidates got the most votes in the primary, then in the November general election, it would be the 2 Republicans facing off, like, say, for governor, or if it was the same on the Democrat side. So you may not have a Republican and a Democrat. It's the 2 top vote getters in the primary. So that's one of the issues that's a sticking point.
Yeah, we'll be following the 90-day signature period.
Absolutely. Right now, we're following just how cold it's gotten. And Megan, we almost forgot the time change this weekend.
Oh, yeah, extra hour of sleep.
This weekend, right? We fall back. That is overnight Saturday and into Sunday. That means for all of us early morning risers, I'm talking to you guys over there. The sun sets around 5:30. Pretty good. Right? Perfect. Perfect for us, bad for everybody else. There's the live look from our Lucky Star Skycam network, the Broadway extension. If you're headed into Oklahoma City, it looks good, but it is a chilly 36 degrees. Skies are clear, winds are light. We will not have those terrible strong winds that we had yesterday. El Reno to Hinton, you are below freezing this morning. Also back up into the northwest, there are 20s. We're going to warm it to 62 degrees this afternoon. More on your Halloween forecast. Our next cold front, it makes the weekend cool. That's coming up.
Good morning. We have a traffic alert for you right now, taking you back to the scene, I-35, a rollover crash. This is right here at East 15th, basically the on-ramp to get onto northbound I-35. You're taking a live look from our news tracker like Stanfield, just behind that Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper's vehicle. There is a truck on its roof. We talked to our Brianna Brown earlier. She says it appears that everyone is outside of the vehicle, and it looks like the tow truck is just getting there to the scene there on the left side. So we'll keep you posted throughout the morning. Doesn't appear to be impacting any traffic on I-35, but we'll keep you posted if anything should change.
Welcome back. It is 6:43, and Megan's watching that weather. Cold start to the day.
It is a cold start. We're talking all things Halloween. I have to tell you this funny text my mom just sent me.
What?
Okay, so she said, tell me the truth. Did you sneak candy with your brother, my twin brother, and throw it up above the cabinets? He had this epic way of eating the Halloween candy.
Hiding
and he
it.
would put it up, and my parents didn't find it for years.
You can't get in trouble for that.
Exactly.
Statute of
No way.
limitations is
It's like-
passed.
And then you blame each other, so I don't know who did it wrong.
I don't know
When
where
you're
that
twins,
went.
You're both at fault.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, we're also talking about the time change, and I do want to go ahead and show you from this morning to Sunday when daylight saving ends, how our sunrise and sunset times change. Guys, I think this is pretty good for us. We go to bed super early. We'll take a 5:30 sunset. Maybe everybody else not. And also, you know, who really needs to change their clocks? Because not many people have.
Most of them do it for
I think
you.
my
your phone.
microwave I have to change.
And the oven, maybe.
Yeah, my car.
I don't use
my
it for
car
the
I
time,
didn't
though,
change
let's
last
be
time. There we go. So this morning, our sunrise, gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock, 7:50, and then our sunset tonight, 6:36 on Sunday. That both of those will be an hour earlier. So just crazy. I know that's kind of a controversial thing. Not everybody loves it, but something we got to do, right? Hey, highs yesterday, upper 50s, low 60s. The big deal yesterday was how strong our winds were. Gusts 40, 50 to almost 60 miles per hour here in Oklahoma City. And I want to take you back down to the Atlantic Basin, to the Caribbean. The big talk, I mean, in the weather world, hearts have been breaking over Hurricane Melissa, Category 5 storm that made landfall in Jamaica back on Tuesday. And we are still just kind of on the cusp of learning about what that damage looks like. So many people without power, service, we just don't know. And it will take days and weeks. As we went through the day yesterday, it made landfall in Cuba yesterday morning, and now this morning during the overnight hours and this morning in the Bahamas. So it is still a Category 2 hurricane with winds 105 miles per hour. It's headed up to the north and to the east, and it will impact Bermuda today and tonight. Does not make landfall in Bermuda, but still they will feel the effects of that storm. So as we track it off to the north and to the east, a Category 2 storm all the way up until about Friday, when it should start to weaken out into the Atlantic, and it does not impact us here in Oklahoma. We still have about a month left of hurricane season, and this one will go down in the books, that's for sure. Here's the live look from our downtown camera down to the south. The skies are clear, and our winds are so much lighter than no wind this morning. Yesterday morning, winds were gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour, and this morning, a few gusts to really 10 miles per hour, and that is about it. The big deal is the frost and the freeze this morning. It's a frost for areas east of Oklahoma City. Back to the west, it is your first freeze of the season. Hinton, you're 31, down to Fort Cobb, Apache, 31 degrees, 32 in Weatherford, 34 in Kingfisher, and now 32 degrees in Enid. The pink line here, that's the freezing line. So Mangum down to Hollis and Altus. You're below freezing. Back up to the north and to the west, we have more 20s, a few 24, 25s in the panhandle. And here are your wind speeds, anywhere from calm to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is a good deal on a cold morning like this. Temperatures, they feel, with the wind chill value, we feel like the 20s. This afternoon, there will be a front that moves into the northwest. It does not fully move through the state. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s with mostly sunny skies. And we have a cold front that arrives overnight Friday and into Saturday. That's going to knock temperatures back down for your Saturday to the 50s. It will be a cool day. High pressure down to the south for your Monday, Tuesday. We're going to warm it back up. A weak front on Wednesday and then a stronger front at the end of next week could bring our next opportunity for rain and thunderstorms. Tonight, temperatures are back to the cold, the chilly, not quite as cold as this morning, but mid 30s. And then tomorrow, a couple of degrees warmer than today, a really amazing Halloween. There are some years where it's rainy, it's cold, we're dry, we'll have a few clouds, light winds, and temperatures in the 50s for trick-or-treat time. With that cold front that arrives for your Saturday, low to mid 50s. It's a chilly, cool day with a north breeze and a chance for a few showers. We will watch that, not locked in. That'll change some as we get a little bit closer. It's not a washout by any means, so don't go canceling any plans. The remainder of your 9-day, it is dry. We're going to warm it back up into the low to mid 70s, and then we're watching for that next cold front at the end of next week, guys. Back over to you, Robin.
Well, a dramatic twist in the pursuit of justice for a fallen Oklahoma County deputy. It's raising serious questions over accountability inside Oklahoma's mental health system. State doctors admit they ignored a court order in the case against Sergeant Bobby Swartz's accused killer. The decision is sparking outrage from the deputy's family, who are now demanding answers. Lisa Monahan has been investigating. She's trying to help them ask some very tough questions. Lisa?
Robin, Benjamin Plank is in state custody, not as an inmate, but as a patient. And the family of Sergeant Bobby Swartz says until that changes, justice will remain out of reach. Now, those state doctors did admit in open court they failed to treat the accused killer. And the family says in 3 years, as a result, they've been the only ones to face any consequence.
A doctor willingly testified that he openly defied the court order because, quote, he's a human too. You don't think my father was a human? Before he was murdered in cold blood, before he tried to kill Mark Johns, any other officer that he shot at that day, those are all humans too.
Defending that decision in court, Dr. David Mitchell, the state psychiatrist, testified he didn't force the meds because he didn't want to damage the relationship with Plank.
If the doctor isn't doing the job that he was hired to do, why is he a doctor? Why does he have a job?
And Mitchell wasn't alone in defying the court's order to medicate. His testimony also revealed state psychologist Dr. Scott Orth admitted politics played a role.
If you're going to take the life of another human, like you shouldn't just be, no, I don't want to take that medication. I don't this or that. Like, I'm sorry, you've lost that right.
Austin says his father and his partner, Deputy Mark Johns, didn't get a choice, but had to pay a price. Forced to give up a lifelong career, John's attorney questions if the doctors shouldn't have to give up something too.
For them to take the position that they're not going to do that because they have some moral objection to that is ridiculous, and something needs to happen. Whether they need to be brought in and jailed or whether or not they need to be terminated, something needs to happen.
As months passed,
there wasn't a fair chance for any competency to be regained.
Deadlines were missed, hearings were delayed, and the state's 2-year window to restore Plank's competency expired.
It sets a dangerous precedent for criminals. As long as you do these things, like, meet this criteria or, play crazy, whatever you want to do, you won't be held accountable.
Judge Savage, bound by law, dismissed the charges, citing the Department of Mental Health's failure to follow the court order. Despite the doctor's admissions, there's no record either have been held in contempt of court, and by all indications, still have jobs at the forensic center.
I always tout that we practice at, if not or above, the standard of care.
The Department of Mental Health did not immediately respond to requests for the doctor's disciplinary records or any policy changes since.
And it just really makes us wonder how many other cases are going through the same thing.
Theirs, the Swartzes say, is a case of justice derailed, not for a lack of evidence, but for a system lacking integrity.
If a state agency is so willingly going to be okay with failure, you're letting the people of the state down. You're letting law enforcement down.
There's just no accountability. There's no justice. And it not only fails Bobby, it fails every police officer in this nation.
But the Swartz family is not done chasing justice. They say they'll keep pushing for more oversight and for a system that does a better job of honoring officers who die defending it.
If it stops one other family from being let down, then it's worth it.
Now, the state could take some moves to hold those doctors in contempt, but so far that's not happened. Many saying that this is just an unprecedented case. Asking prosecutors about next steps, the DA says they are closely monitoring Plank's mental state while he's committed at the mental hospital. They plan to file charges given the chance. Robin.
Lisa, good investigation. And News 9 asked the judge if she plans to hold those doctors accountable for defying the court order. The judge is unable to comment on pending cases. We'll be following back after this.
I want to update you on this breaking news in Edmond. They do have the truck on the back of the tow truck now, so they should be clearing this rollover crash. That truck was on its roof just moments ago. This is along I-35 northbound at the 15th Street on-ramp in Edmond. We're asking about injuries, but no information on that just yet. We are hearing that they're going to clear this pretty soon, so that tow truck will be out of there pretty shortly.
All right, if you're out the door, Megan.
It's a cold and frosty, even a freezing start for many. I'll have updates throughout the morning.
All right, we'll have more here at 7:26. See you then.